Mitsubishi may be about to prove that its heaviest-duty truck platform was never really limited to hauling freight. If the Super Great Expedition campervan build is any indication, the same chassis that normally pulls loaded trailers can carry an entire home instead. This is a custom conversion, not a factory motorhome, but is built on real Super Great architecture, the triple axle layout, the cab over driving position, and the payload capacity of a genuine heavy truck chassis, front and side. The Super Great stock cab stays close to its commercial roots, tall, upright, built for a driver who sits well above traffic. This build wraps a cab in a flat black roof-mounted light bar and an aggressive front bumper with integrated auxiliary lighting, along with a pair of heavy red recovery hooks bolted directly into the chassis rails. Super Great lettering sits across the hood, with Fuso badge prominently on the grille above the Mitsubishi Tri-Diamond emblem. A secondary badge below reads Super Great Expedition, in case anyone mistook this for a regular delivery cab. The matte gray paint keeps the whole build looking industrial rather than flashy, which fits a truck this size. It is not trying to look like a luxury coach. It is letting the sheer scale of the build speak for itself. The side profile is where this build stops being a truck and starts being a home. Behind the cab sits a raised living module running the full length of the chassis, tall enough to stand in, with multiple full-size windows letting warm interior light spill out. A full-height ladder runs up the side to the roof, past a row of mounted storage boxes built directly into the lower body panels, keeping recovery gear, tools, and supplies organized and out of the weather. Underneath all of that living space, the chassis has not been softened at all. This build keeps the triple axle configuration of the real Super Great platform, riding on a full set of aggressive off-road tires with a matching spare mounted upright behind the cab. On a heavy truck chassis like this, 6-driven wheels and serious ground clearance are what actually let a vehicle this size get somewhere remote in the first place. Rear and side. At the rear, a large Fuso badge sits mounted on the back of the living module, with Expedition and Super Great lettering reinforcing exactly what this build is for. Wraparound LED taillights and an additional rear light bar sit low near the bumper, alongside a second pair of recovery hooks for when the truck needs pulling out rather than pulling something else. A full-length roof rack ties the whole build together, carrying additional storage and light bars across the entire roofline of the living module, and combined with the ladder access, the roof becomes one more usable surface on a truck that already refuses to waste any of its available space. Interior, step inside, and the industrial exterior gives way to two very different zones. Near the entry sits a utility and wash area. A stainless steel wall panel houses a wall-mounted screen, labeled Expedition Super Great, running live system diagnostics next to a mirror with integrated lighting. A sink and fold-down counter sit beneath it, with a separate shower stall and toilet compartment right alongside. Skylight overhead for natural light and ventilation. Nearby, open shelving keeps hard cases from brands like Pelican secured and within reach, treating storage as seriously as everything else in this build. Further into the cabin, the tone shifts completely. Warm walnut-style cabinetry lines the walls, wrapping around a small galley kitchen with an induction cooktop, a sink, and a built-in espresso machine, definitely not standard truck stop coffee. A wall-mounted display shows the Mitsubishi Fuso logo alongside a live view out toward the mountains, while a second screen nearby tracks battery levels, water levels, and a live diagram of the truck itself. Essentially a dashboard for the entire living module. A U-shaped leather seating area wraps around a folding wooden table, with a skylight above letting light spill over the cushions. It is less mobile home and more private cabin on wheels. Features and capability. What stands out here is how deliberately this build separates function from comfort instead of blending everything into one cramped space. The utility zone handles the messy, practical side of long-term travel, water, waste, gear storage, while the living zone stays dedicated purely to cooking, working, and relaxing. The onboard monitoring screen tracking power and water levels in real time also suggests this build is meant to run largely off-grid, not tethered to a campsite hookup every night. Add the roof-mounted storage, ladder access, and full recovery hardware front and rear, and this is a vehicle built to be self-sufficient for extended stretches, not just comfortable for a weekend. Engine and off-road capability. Mitsubishi Fuso Super Great range in the real world is built around heavy-duty diesel power, designed to move serious tonnage over long distances. The kind of platform engineered for durability and torque rather than speed. If a build like this stayed close to that formula, do not expect anything resembling a sports truck. Expect a diesel engine tuned for constant heavy load operation, a drivetrain built to run for enormous distances between services, and enough low-end torque to keep a fully loaded living module moving up a grade without strain. The triple axle layout and mud terrain tires point toward a chassis that prioritizes stability and traction over agility, exactly what a vehicle carrying a full interior like this actually needs. Closing. A heavy-duty truck chassis was never going to be efficient or nimble, but it was always going to win on structural strength and payload capacity. And once someone points at capacity at a full-size living module instead of cargo box, the truck stops being just a hauler and starts being genuinely self-sufficient. Nobody had to reinvent the Super Great to get this result. The bones were already there. A chassis rated to carry serious weight, a cab-over layout with commanding visibility, and enough structural capacity to support real walls, real windows, and real furniture instead of stripped-out shell. All this build did was give that capacity somewhere to live. If more builders take a platform like the Super Great in this direction, it might stop being the truck people only see hauling freight down a highway and start being the one people actually live in while they're far away from one. Subscribe for more custom builds like this.